Yo, 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 Caffeinated Creator Podcast Volume 6. It's your host, DJ Styrofoam Cup, my co-host, Purple Pimp. And today we're interviewing the legendary Mars.
What's good, baby?
What's good with it, bro? Shit, just out here running around. Antioch, California, Pittsburgh, California. Feel me?
Coast to coast, grinding. All right, my DJ wants to start this off with the question. Sure. Let's get this ball rolling, baby.
So the first thing I wanted to ask is how many projects have you put out since you first came out?
I don't even know anymore, bro. To be honest, like the last couple of years, I've just been putting the fuckload out of them. You know what I mean? I've been putting out like singles and EPs and compilations, and I just lost count. It was kind of like I wanted to put out as much stuff as possible, so that way, like, nobody really had to, like, you know what I mean, wait a long time to hear the shit that I was going through or what I wanted to talk about. I kind of recorded it in real time and like 5 days later put it out. You know what I mean? Just kept pumping them out. So there's a lot. I don't know. I have like 5-6 albums, and then like, I don't know. I've released like 40 things in the last 2 years, maybe something like that.
Consistency the key.
So what?
Is consistency the key? Just to keep putting things out.
I think consistency is the key to everything, bro. To be honest, like, I'm not sure exactly, you know what I mean, why I make music other than the fact that I like making music. So I think, you know, for me, myself personally, just to be able to have that outlet consistency is or like outlet and being consistent at the same time is like, it's therapeutic. It's just being in a routine, bro. Like lately I've been doing a whole lot of other stuff, so I haven't had time for a lot of music lately. But you know what I mean? I just try to be consistent with everything that I'm doing, or just stay, you know what I mean? Just stay on all my interests and do as much as possible with all of them, feel me?
Yes, sir. Just me being a 90s hip-hop head, I've noticed we went from an era where you had to have an album from start to finish be dope. Now you just need a single, right? You can just blow up off a track.
I mean, E40's DJ, which was my DJ at one point, and Too Short, Spice One's DJ, he was like, man, nowadays you don't gotta make full ass albums, just keep putting singles out, and your fans will put them on a playlist. Their favorites will be their album, you know what I mean? So I took that into consideration and started putting a lot of singles out. But I also like working with like one producer at a time and creating projects with a feel to them and stuff like that too. So, I mean, singles is what keeps the hype going, and albums is what let people know what your like body of work looks like, what you can create to kind of flow together and package up, and you know what I mean. So it's like I like to have a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I feel like my album will tell a story, and my singles will tell you what's going on right now.
Yes, sir.
So I was doing a little research, and you were signed to Black Market Records at one point.
Black Market, I would say, well, outside of Mad Insanity Records, which was our label, and our label still, the first label I signed to was my favorite label at the time, was Black Market Records. And that's like Brother Lynch and Mr. Doctor and X-Rated and all that shit. And I grew up listening to that. So like at the time, you know what I mean, as a kid, it was like super exciting to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like I was like, what if I would get signed, I want to be signed by Psychopathic or Black Market. And Black Market was all about it, and they signed me first, you know what I mean? So I kind of got my start there, you know what I mean? And I worked with a lot of labels in my career, but that was the first, and that was probably the most exciting at the time because I got to take my friends with me when I went and signed the contracts and went to the warehouses and got to pick out all the albums I didn't get, or albums I've always wanted, or rare shit, and you know what I mean? Like, and work closely with somebody that put out my favorite artist at the time and see the process and learn a lot. And I learned a lot about the music business being with Black Market, you know what I mean? And to this day, you know what I mean? I still talk to the people from Black Market Records, you know what I mean? On each other's Facebooks and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the first label I was signed to. And it taught me a lot, man. Like I learned how to sign artists. I signed Gangsta Nip to Black Market Records and Rest in Peace Records.
I never knew that.
So yeah, I just seen
Wow.
that. Gangsta Nip's like one of my favorite rappers. South Park.
Mine too.
That
He's crazy as fuck, bro. Like he's really crazy in real life, bro. And it was a learning experience for sure. You know, at the time I was trying to sign Flatliners and Mastermind, so it'd be me, Flatliners, and Gangsta Nip at the same time. And you know, at one point, fuck, I think my cigarette's going out. At one point, Big Lurch signed to their label.
Oh wow!
And I was Big Lurch's project manager for a little bit, and that's actually why I wasn't on Black Market Records anymore. Is that when I was Big Lurch's project manager, I wanted to promote him a certain way, and because you know he was in jail for all the eating that lady's lungs shit on, you know what I mean? And I was like, let's fucking make his album cover crazy where he's holding like a lung and shit, and they wouldn't do it. And I was like, nah, it wasn't for me anymore at that point. And I ended up going off on my own and continuing with Madison Records. And a little further down the line, I got signed to a bigger distribution company for my own label. And I was able to put my CDs, my first CD that I pressed, ended up having worldwide distribution at the perfect time. You know what I mean? So everything kind of works out how it's supposed to, man. You know what I mean? And I like right now having to be signed with Empire under my own label, Mad Insanity, because it's like hands-on everything. These days, you don't really need a huge machine behind you as long as you're like hustling and you're and the people around you are all kind of reaching for the same things. You know what I mean? So I like where I'm at now. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? You say CDs is I miss that era. Like open it up, see the production, the artwork. You know who mixed and mastered it. I really miss that era of CDs and CDs.
I do too. And let me tell you, man, the money back then was fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you sold like 5,000 records at $7 each, that's a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? So
legal dope.
Like I think my first check was like 27 grand for an album that me and Minneside did in under a span of 5 days. So like
and back
90
then,
days
that was a year's pay, really.
It was fucking crazy. I was celebrating. You know what I mean? That money got me into a lot of trouble, man. So like, as time went on, I realized that I should have kept being like I am now back then with the CDs and keep putting stuff out. I didn't know the CD thing was gonna die off so fast, you know. So, but if you notice now too, like if I promote my albums or singles, I always promote it with the track listing or a digital type booklet, so you could still look at all this shit, read it all, and see who produced it and mixed it and distributed it and all that stuff. And thank yous. I try to do all that stuff, you know, on my social media, so that way my followers will have a little bit more than just a swipe through. You know what I mean? They'll be able to look at shit. You know what I mean?
I noticed CDs still do well at the show where you could touch the artist, have them sell it, sign it. You know, it's like a collector's thing now.
Yeah, I can't be touched anymore because I'm married now. But I'll still sell a girl CD. But yeah, man, like it's a novelty nowadays. You know what I mean? You could have somebody sign a CD and they'll put it away and they'll keep it or collect it, and it's another item for people to hang up or whatever. I like that aspect, but I really like. I'm in my truck right now, and I have I keep all the CDs that people give me, so I listen to everything. You know what I mean? I'm looking for new talent. I'm looking for shit that I like. You know what I mean? So in my truck still, you know, I'll turn off my Apple Music and I'll put in like a little 6 CD, or I'll put in a Black Market Records CD or a Kung Fu Vampire CD, or you know what I mean? I still bump CDs in here because I have that option. You know what I mean?
You know what blows my mind is I opened up for you like 4 or 5 years ago at the Moxie, and then we went over to the Pit, and I gave you my CD, and we talked last week, and you still fucking had it. That blew my fucking mind, OG.
I actually had it and found it again as we were talking, which is crazy as fuck. But I keep everything, bro. Like, I don't think people understand, like, my horrorcore collection or underground collection as a whole is just fucking bonkers. You know what I mean?
Respect.
And like, and I have little shit too. You know what I mean? Not just artists and like underground acts, but I have stuff from my career that I've taken little pieces of and saved one for just whatever reason. Like, you know, like I might have been opening up for Insane Clown Posse or something somewhere in the country, and when I'm back there, I'll take my dressing room sign or I'll take their set list because it's going to be thrown away, and I'll have all that shit packed away. You know what I mean? I have stuff that they've given me, or you know, I have like symbols from Kung Fu Vampires tours. And like I keep everything, bro. Like my collection is just nuts. You know what I mean? I like to have all that kind of stuff.
So let me ask you this: if you had unlimited budget, can reach out and call, who you getting on a track from Madonna to Lil Wayne, producer, singer, who would it be?
Man, you know what? Billie Eilish would be sick as fuck. You know what I mean? There's a new girl.
Oh.
There's a new girl. I forget her name. That's on TikTok right now. That sings the anxiety song. I forget her name, but she's fucking dope and she's cute. I just like her voice a lot. I like the fact that she's, you know, has songs like the same kind of shit that we make. You know what I mean? But really, bro, like the people that I want to fuck with are like I'm friends with them. It just never has happened. You know what I mean? Like Kung Fu or not Kung Fu, remember Brother Lynch Hung. I see Brother Lynch all the time. Like I hang out with Lil Six all the time. I talk to Brother Lynch all the time. You know what I mean? And I still don't got a song with him for whatever reason. It just hasn't happened. Or Isham, you know what I mean? I've been on Isham tours and hung out with Isham at the back at the hotel when it's all done and party with him and just still don't got a song, you know what I mean? So it's like people like that. I just wish I had more time or locked in schedules with people like that so I can get them on songs. But again, I think I told you a little bit last time that I really ain't tripping too much off of collabs these days. You know what I mean? I feel like people get collabs to help push their sales, their streams, and all that stuff, and that's cool because it's a paycheck and all that. But mostly, man, like I just like the fact that I'm self-sustained. You know what I mean? I could just make a song, put it out, and I don't have to wait for nobody. You know what I mean? There's big artists that will tell you, "Yeah, fuck yeah," and like make the song for them, and then they will lag for hella days. I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? Like so. I've learned to just not even fuck with it. I like to just work with singers, like people that you've never even heard of. I'll get them on shit because I think they're dope. But if I do collab with people, it's like Kung Fu Vampire or Daniel Jordan or Jay Riz or, you know what I mean? Kosher, you know what I mean? Like free kosher, but like just my friends, you know what I mean? I like fucking, that's why I got started in this stuff, is just to have fun with my friends, you know what I mean?
We grew up in that era. You threw Mary J. Blige or Mariah Carey or Nate Dogg on the hook, and that was a fucking hit, you know? Put that soul in there.
I mean, I got songs like that. You know, I got that song with Twisted and Tech Nine, and back in those days, that was like, who could I get that would never fucked with each other before? That would be huge, and like it does very well still. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with both of them. You know what I mean? It's cool, but like, you know, nowadays, bro, like I feel like, you know, even your friends will charge you. You know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to make money. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make money. I ain't trying to give it away. I'm trying to take people's money and put it into my pocket and not the other way around. So, you know what I mean? It is an investment. You know what I mean? It is an investment. And I just, like I said, it's the weight mostly. This is why I don't like doing it. That's why I've learned how to do all this shit. I don't like to wait for my art. So I'll do it myself. I don't like to wait for those or somebody to do something. If I could do it myself, I would just rather do it myself, and that way I can keep those relationships with people without being like, man, fuck that guy. Took fucking holidays to do this shit. You know what I mean? I don't like that kind of stuff will ruin stuff. So like I've learned just to not count on nobody else to just make stuff happen. You know what I mean? So I really don't trip off of shit like that.
Yes, sir.
Usually, I like to ask people to interview what is their Mount Rushmore of hip hop or rap. But I was thinking about it, since we're talking Gangsta Nip, Brother Lynch. What would be your Mount Rushmore of horrorcore?
For me, it would be Isham, Brother Lynch, Gangsta Nip. You know what I mean? Like that. CP on there, you know what I mean? But is that enough? Is that enough heads? I feel that's enough heads, but
Or heads?
You know what I mean? Like I I grew up on all this shit. So like I've been since the beginning era of this horrorcore and underground scene. So I've seen a lot of people come, I've seen a lot of people go. And the people that was killing it back then are still killing it now. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's names that belong in those groups that weren't a part of our scene before. You know what I mean? And I feel like, some of the greatest artists of our time right now are just killing shit. Like my boy Gmo is killing shit, and he's recognized beyond horrorcore. You know what I mean? Like Ouija is a whole different style of rap, and he's killing the game right now. You know what I mean? He's doing his own thing, he's staying in his own lane, and it's still a part of what we do. And I feel like there's so many other elements of that. So like I give props where props is due, bro. There's the people that started it, and there's the people that are killing it. And sometimes those cross the lines, you know what I mean? Like there's a blurred line between everybody right now. And I feel like we have such a unique scene, and everybody gets along for the most part. Everybody that matters gets along for the most part. You know what I mean? So like to me, it's like, you know what I mean? We're very special in a way, is that our culture kind of never moves in the way of like, if you make a mark here, you will always be seen as that. You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's dope.
Yeah, you're definitely a hip hop legend. That's why we do this, to give people their flowers while they're here, Not when you pass away. That we love you.
Yeah, I'll probably pass away soon, from what it seems like.
Your neck might break from that chain, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
how's your
shout
neck
out to
feeling?
Nice. This one's heavy, bro. This one, like,
yeah, baby.
They get me chains once a month, and the bracelet's pretty fat too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I see you're excited.
You know what I mean? Same thing. These glasses, that's pretty nice too. They give me a spending limit every month, and they'll have things like millimeters and shit like that. And I was like, I don't know how much that is in thickness or longness, so I just grab shit, and I'm like, damn, this shit's fucking fat. You know what I mean?
That's a fatty. That's a pit bull chain.
I'm lucky to have the support of like King Ice is like the #1 hip hop jewelry retailer on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really cool to have that relationship with him. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I'll have some bigger stuff coming up. I have a photo shoot for him out here in the Bay. I'm supposed to go out there in LA with him and do a photo shoot, and then I try to rock all their stuff as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like all my sponsors.
I like that. That's what hip hop is about, showing love, man, not hating on each other, I respect that.
Yeah, if I hate you, it's not because of your music, it's because you did some bitch ass shit. You know what I mean? Other than that, like, if you're good, you're good. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, or I could be like, you ain't doing that shit. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? If you got a buzz and you got a hustle and you're doing what you're supposed to do in this music, is just keep putting shit out and reaching people, then that's what you're supposed to do. That's love. You know what I mean? I don't really dislike very many people, so I can't hate on what they do. You know what I mean?
That's love.
That's good, guys. So as we were doing some research as well, we're looking some things here and there, and we seen that at an award show you won an award and got stabbed afterwards. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
I did. I can't say too much about it without incriminating the situation, but the award show really didn't have anything to do with that situation. It was just at the time I was sponsored by this whiskey company, and it's big now. It's called Gold Bar Whiskey. It's an American blended whiskey that was bottled in San Francisco by some good friends of mine at the time. Shout out to Andrew Smith. You know what I mean? They used to have a pallet at the distribution center of boxes of whiskey just for me. So I'd come, and they'd load my car up with boxes of whiskey, and each box had like 6 or 8 bottles of whiskey, and they're like shaped like gold bars and stuff. And then like, that's dangerous to have in your car, because like everywhere I went it became like a fucking party, you know what I mean? So I'm at the awards show. I had these bottles of whiskey. I have one. I'm giving them out to people and shit. I'm drinking out the bottle. I kill a bottle hella fast, drink another one. Wilding out. I think I forget which award I won on that one. I might have won like single. No, I think that might have been album of the year for Glaucoma maybe. And just wild out. I ran into my homeboy Arsenal, who was on the Mars Attacks CD, because he's from out here, and he was at the award, and I gave him a bottle, and I started drinking even more. And then afterwards, me and my girl at the time, and Swizz, from you know what I mean. Me and Swizz work a lot together. He was with me. He had his date, and he had one of our homeboys with us, and I got into a fight in the parking lot at Denny's, of all places. You know what I mean?
Where the hog goes out.
And me being drunk, like I was in the fight with people that weren't belonging in the fight. There was just random people. I couldn't tell who was who. So I was fucking hella people up. And somewhere along the line, maybe somebody that had to do with it, or had something to do with it, or maybe somebody that didn't have to do with it. Like I was blackout drunk, so I'm not even sure exactly what happened. But somebody stabbed me, and I didn't know for like 4 hours that I even got stabbed, because I went and partied afterwards. You know what I mean? So I was at Swizz's house drinking more. You know what I
Whiskey,
mean?
baby.
Dancing and shit, fucking around. And then I went home with my girl, and I'm like taking my clothes off, and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck is this shit?" And she's like, "Oh my god, you got stabbed." And I was like, "I did get stabbed." And then I was like, well, tomorrow we should probably go to the hospital. I was like, let's go to the hospital tomorrow. And she's like, no, you need to go right now. My roommate's like, bro, you need to go right now. I'm like, nah, I'll go tomorrow. So she rushed me to the hospital, and I bring a bottle with me in the car to go to the hospital with. And I'm drinking my bottle and shit. We're talking, and she's rushing me there. And I'm getting drunker. My blood's thinning even more, and I'm pouring blood out and shit. And I get to the hospital, and they're like, yo, you know, like, what happened? And I show them, like, oh, what the fuck, right? And they wheel me in there, and I'm like, no, I just need stitches. I just need stitches. They're like, no. They put the little thing on my face. And that's the last thing I remember. I wake up, my fucking shit's all like cut open. And this is like the little stabbing was fixed. And I didn't know what the fuck happened. I woke up hella confused, with a hangover.
How do you pause it? Yeah, hook it up.
Look at my hotspot. Just tell them.
But will it start from there?
Probably part two. But we just put it out. All right, ready? My personal hotspot should say yo yo.
How?